I am training to run a sub 48 second 400, and this is my full week of training. This week, we got to run some super fast 200 meter repeats, do some block work, and a fair amount of power training, and then we had the first outdoor meet of the season. We started out the week with a block start session inside because of bad weather. I thought about it. First step's important. Exactly. My start has been a pretty weak point of mine for a long time, but for some reason, last week and this week, it has been looking pretty dang good. After a thorough warm-up, I jumped into my starts. I feel fast today. That felt good. That was interesting. It was different than my normal starts. I felt lower to the ground. Might have been good, might have been bad. I'll find out when I talk to coach.
Look better. I'm gonna record the next one
Okay.
so I can break it down. It looked slightly long, but then like that second step looked a lot better for you than normal.
Good. It still felt good in the early stages. I'm doing something wrong though, because as I get toward like the middle stages, it's almost like I'm running squatty. It's like I can't quite get, I don't know if it's full extension or fully upright. There's something going wrong. That felt really good. That felt way better than the last few.
Worked a lot better.
I mean, you could hear like each step you're taking back here.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 steps, you're covering more ground than you ever have, that's for sure.
Best block session I've ever had, by far. Felt great, felt powerful, felt smooth, which I don't usually. I don't know how these shoes work. But I'm excited for the races this weekend, now that I can maybe actually start half decent. You boys hear what we're doing today? But extra rest and fast, in spikes. It's gonna be sick. There was a crazy tailwind outside for practice the next day, and so coach decided to do 200 meter repeats fast with wind assistance and 2 minutes, 30 seconds rest.
Like your shoulder blades and all that.
It's the hips. Because you have to turn like that, you have to internally and externally rotate around your femur.
I see that.
Makes your hips feel smooth. Feels like somebody just dumped lube into your hip, and it's just like nice and slippery. This wind is nuts. I think this is gonna be the most fun workout of my life. My calves are definitely sore from yesterday though. All the block starts. That's okay. Don't need your calves to run, right? My knee feels funny and my stomach hurts, but this is gonna be awesome. Oh my gosh. We're about to run like a 22. The wind created a really unique feeling where it felt easy to run fast, but you could still feel the systemic fatigue setting in throughout the workout. It feels good, but it's hard. Second one was really difficult. The wind helps a ton, but our nervous systems and bodies still aren't used to running these speeds. So it's catching up to us, I think. It was so fun having the right conditions to just crank out twos even faster than race pace, and it was a serious confidence builder even though we knew we were being assisted by the wind. I was tying up big time. Ready, set, go. Oh yeah, it's building up.
After a very painful end of that workout, we went in to lift. I have a new exercise I rigged up that we've been using, and I absolutely love it. I think it is the most effective thing we've done all year. It is a calf raise machine that you can also use for squatting, which provides stability that a barbell would not. I have bands strapped around it so that it is hard at the top but easier at the bottom, and that allows us to get a very fast turnaround or amortization phase at the bottom of the lift, increasing our power output and reactivity significantly, which is possibly the most important thing for explosiveness and athleticism. On top of that, I did some reactive calf raises with decently heavy weight, and also some reactive lateral wicket hops. You'll notice that a lot of what we are doing is reactive now, and that is because we are getting closer and closer to the time of year where we need to peak, and reactive power is exactly what will help us do that. With that in mind, we did some reactive med ball chest passes and med ball slams, as well as Russian twists as explosively as possible. We also did some regular hanging leg raises for our core. Then we did some more reactive plyos, this time with wicket hops, except I was too lazy to set up actual wickets. And finally, I did some glute and hamstring focused back extensions. The next day was a recovery day, and then we were back Thursday for a plyo and power day. We started off with single leg static hops and progressed into single leg repeat hops, which are again very reactive. After that, we did the same progression with 2-leg hurdle hops. I think if you were to watch these side by side with how my hurdle hops used to look, you'd see a massive difference in power and explosiveness as a result of all the training I've been doing. Then we moved to some overhead med ball throws, which are amazing for power production, and some double jump reactive med ball throws as well. Finally, we did some single leg med ball bound throws, which are really fun. Then we were back for our second lift of the week with some heavy explosive step-ups. I really enjoy doing these, and I think they are my new favorite exercise. The range of motion is small enough that you can be very aggressive and powerful while still moving heavy weights, and I feel great while I do them. Over time, we can even slowly reduce the weight, and it'll get more and more powerful and continually move faster, making it a great option for peaking. At the end of the year, we may even do these as unweighted jumps. We had some calf raises and core work thrown in again, and I always hit my hip flexors with some isos because they were injured for months, and I refused to allow that to happen again. Then it was finally meet day. For the first outdoor meet, I got to run the 400 and the 200. Unfortunately, the 200 is after the 400, which is the reverse of what I would prefer, but hey, it is what it is. For some reason, while I was warming up, I was feeling pretty weak and didn't have much snappiness in my legs, which hurt my confidence going into the race. There was also a massive headwind on the back straight, so I knew the first 200 of this 400 was going to be painful. I warmed up what I thought was as thoroughly as I could, but as I'll mention in next week's video, I don't actually think I warmed up thoroughly enough at all, because I'm always worried about making myself too tired, and I think that's been hurting me in my meets. After the gun went off, I tried to get out as aggressively as possible, but I still felt like I had absolutely no strength in my legs, and so I wasn't able to push very well at all. As I came around the curve, the full headwind was right in my face, and I hadn't built up even close to enough momentum to power through it. Even though my opening 200 was only around a 24 or a 25 second, my legs felt pretty limp and noodly already. I did my best to build up as I went through the curve and prepared to finish as fast as I could. It was a fight for third place because first and second place dominated the field. I pushed as hard as I could to the line and barely scraped by with third in my heat and fifth overall with a disappointing 52.13 second 400. There were multiple factors at play here, such as the wind and the weather, but when it comes down to it, I just wasn't ready to race fast, and that's okay. Then it was time for the 200. At this point, I was pretty much just hoping to run faster than I did in indoor because I knew I'd be tired from the 400. It's impossible to see because of the spectators, but I think I had a pretty decent initial start, although I ended my drive phase way too quickly, which significantly reduced the top speed I was able to reach. At the 100 mark, it looks like I was solidly in 6th in my heat, but I held myself together because I knew my speed endurance was good, and I was able to pass 3 guys in the final 100 to finish 3rd in my heat and 4th overall with a 22.92. That is almost a full second PR from indoor, and while I'm happy to run a PR for my first ever outdoor 200, you guys know this isn't where I want to be right now. So I'm going to keep training hard, staying as focused as I can, and gaining experience in these events as I hopefully come closer and closer to reaching my long-term goals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.